Hi guys, it's Aisling. Welcome back to the Waterstones vlog channel once again. Now I'm here today with what I think is a very important video because I think I have discovered what my favourite book of the year is. I don't know if it's too early to call this. What month are we in? The seventh month, July. But I think I have found my favourite book of the year, and that book is The Water Cure by Sophie Mackintosh. So this is another debut fiction novel, which seems to be mostly all I'm reading these days. But this is just, it's quite literally blown everything else out of the water that I've read this year so far. It's so unique and so eerie and unsettling, and so many brilliant female characters. I just had to share it with you guys. And plus, look at that beautiful cover. I know you're not meant to judge them by their cover, like we say all the time, but isn't that just gorgeous, and don't you want it on your shelf? Now, the story, it follows three sisters called Grace, Leah and Skye, and the story sort of drops you in the middle of a situation, so you're not really sure what's going on or what context or where they really are. So they're in their house, which seems to be on some sort of island or land mass that's sort of on its own, and there's nobody else around, and they're very, very isolated. And what you can glean from the situation is that the three sisters and their mother and father sort of own this sanctuary, use their house as a sanctuary where women who are sick, you know, suffering from this mystery illness that again we know nothing about, and they come to them for what is called the water cure, because the water there has something in it, or you know, it's got healing properties, or they just believe that it's gonna help them. So that's sort of the main premise of what's going on when the story starts. The narrative kind of switches between the two sisters, the two elder sisters, and it's kind of swapping what they're saying about one another. But then sometimes it's all three sisters speaking at the same time, and it's just very, very cool way of telling the story. So then the action really starts to take place when the father of the family goes missing. So he kind of goes off to the mainland, or you don't really know where he's going, some city or something like that. He goes off in a boat and he does not return. And while he is gone, two men and a young boy sort of wash up on the shore, and a lot of kind of action and eeriness, creepiness takes place from there on. I absolutely loved the way that this book examined female relationships with male-female relationships. Sorry, that's really badly phrased. I loved it because the girls, they're sort of trapped in this place. They've never met other men before, and one of the sisters, she kind of launches into a relationship with one of the men, and it actually is very sort of true to real life. I think it will remind a lot of people of sort of fraught relationships they have with someone that they just meet, how they think they're in love and then you're not, and then kind of causes all sorts of trouble. It's been compared in the media, I've noticed a lot, to The Handmaid's Tale by Margaret Atwood, and I'm going to disagree with that, although like obviously they're both great books. You know, The Handmaid's Tale is obviously a classic now, and I love this book, but I think they're both very, very different. It just happens that they both happen to be sort of dystopian stories focusing on the female experience. But I honestly think the comparison ends there. You know, just because a story features a strong female character doesn't mean that all the books are the same. I loved the way that this was written. It was very sparse and just very, I know I've said creepy a few times, but I mean that in the best possible way, because it just stuck with me for so long afterwards, because there was so much to think about, like where were they, what was going on, or why were they there, or what became of them afterwards. I won't tell you anything about the ending because I do not want to spoil it for you, because I need everybody to read this so that we can all sit down and have a big chat about it, because I want to know what everybody thinks. And I really, really seriously cannot wait for Sophie Mackintosh to write another book. I hope she has some short stories out there or something that I can Google, because it's honestly her writing style that kept me so engrossed the whole time. I just loved the idea of the three sisters and their different experiences, even though we never hear from the younger sister unless they're all speaking together. But I actually kind of loved that as well. There's sort of lots of examining the idea of the female body, so kind of the thoughts of pregnancy and sexual experiences that the girls talk about or think about, or you know, when they're trying to impress the men, or how they interact with the men. It's just very, very interesting, and I would recommend it to anybody who is kind of a lover of literature and maybe has read a few of the other debut novels this year and is just looking for something else to kind of quench that thirst, I suppose. Literally, thirst, the water cure, anybody? I really, really enjoyed it. Like 10 out of 10 for me. Like I said, I think it's my favorite book of the year so far. I know I'm kind of jumping the gun, but I just think if other people read this, they will agree. The writing is beautiful. It's so unique and interesting, very eerie and creepy. We know I like that. And yeah, just a brilliant, brilliant book. Can't recommend it highly enough. I hope you all get on this and support it. And again, it's so important to support debut novelists, and I cannot wait to see what she comes out with next. So that's The Water Cure by Sophie Mackintosh. So I hope you guys found that recommendation helpful. I just really, really wanted to focus on just one book this time around because I adored it. I think I've probably made that clear by now. Okay guys, that's all from me this month. I hope to see you again with a few more recommendations. Keep reading and I will see you soon. Bye.